On today's episode, your Kansas City Chiefs are going to Super Bowl 57 in Arizona to take on the Philadelphia Eagles, and the lowly Cincinnati Bengals poverty franchise is going back to that trash heap city in Cincinnati. Stick around.
What's happening, Chiefs Kingdom? Are you still alive? We barely made it through that game, and the Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl for the third time in 4 years. Patrick Mahomes is unhuman, and Travis Kelce told everyone to suck it and called them jabronis. You Bengals fans must feel really stupid about right now.
Hey, that was a full week. Actually, it's been a full year of nothing but chirp, Burrowhead. Oh, I'm so glad y'all had to sit there and suffer through all that. You suck. Everybody about you sucks.
Look,
Go back to
you're
Cincy and
lucky.
suck.
You're just lucky it wasn't a blowout because they were hands down the better team. If it wasn't for some weird things going on, that would have been a blowout, and it would have been hilarious.
Dude, the Chiefs had that game in hand from the get-go, and only the incompetence of Andy Reid and his stupid clock control and bad play calling there at the end of the first half lets Cincinnati back in it. But yeah,
Right.
Good game by Mahomes, man. Let's look at these stats. 29 for 43, 326 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. He outplayed Joe Burrow, Joe
On
Suckett.
one leg. On one leg.
Joe Burrow, 26 of 41, 270, 1 touchdown, and 2 picks. Come on, this guy was complete trash. Who was it that said that Joe Burrow outplayed Mahomes tonight? It was
Bayless, the biggest idiot in the entire world. So.
Get Bayless. That guy is a super clown. Like, how's he still on TV?
He must be a Bengals fan because they're also super clowns. And obviously, we knew Patrick Mahomes was a superior quarterback in this matchup. The Chiefs have been the better team than the Bengals every time they played. But, enough crazy stuff goes their way every time. It almost did this time. It literally almost went their way this time with the weird Mahomes dropping the ball thing. That was potentially a 14-point swing. And then you had terrible holding call on Wiley that took away a touchdown from Pacheco. You had a terrible holding call on Brian Cook that took back a long punt return. It's just one thing after another.
You had that horrible taunting penalty on Wiley for putting his hands
up. That was
up.
pathetic. Yeah.
Come on. And then the Bengals going to have enough salty crying because they hit Mahomes 7 minutes after he steps out of bounds and puts us in field goal range.
And then, why did they get to retry third down? Maybe because the play was blown dead. I mean, just watch the tape. Obviously, you didn't hear the whistle because Arrowhead's loud. But yeah, he was obviously blowing the play dead. Nothing to argue there. But one thing to argue is a lot of the catches that they made looked blatantly like OPI, like usual.
Yeah, always. Chase and them push off a lot. Hey, I will say Joe Burrow put a couple dimes on T. Higgins, and our corners looked stupid a few times. But other than that, yeah, I thought our defense shut them down. We got to Joe Burrow at will today. Chris Jones, as we said, wouldn't just get his first. We said he'd have 2, and he did. Chris Jones has got to be player of the game today. He stepped up when it counted. Frank Clark, 1.5 sacks. George Karlaftis, a full sack, and then Willie Gay, half a sack. I think the story of this game, Steve, has to be all the injuries the Chiefs had to endure. We were playing them with a third string team the entire second half.
That's the best part. The Bengals wanted to cry that they had 2 offensive linemen out. Our whole team was out. We were literally had Marcus Kemp in the game. Think about that for a second. We had no receivers left. Patrick Mahomes is playing on a bad ankle. Travis Kelce's playing with a bad back. L'Jarius Sneed went out in the first series of the game. It was one thing after another. We lost Kadarius Toney. Juju went out. McCole went out with an injury. We were literally playing with the practice squad and still put one on the Bengals.
Yeah, Pacheco was actually hobbling at the end of the game. He got his ankle rolled up on or something. So, yeah, this was satisfaction. I thought we were going to blow it. Again, the play calling has to get better. Our clock management has to get better. There at the end of the first half, they should have never seen the ball again. Andy Reid and them comes out and throws 3 times, doesn't take any time off the clock, punts it back. At the end of the game, too, I thought when we punted that back to Burrow, we were going to be in trouble, but he trusted his defense. And as we said all week long, the defense was going to step up and hold Cincinnati to under 24 points. And they did it. We're right. We're always right. Suck it, Bengals fans. You guys take a hike. I'm sure you won't even be here watching this because you're going to go back into hiding in your little caves and go back to your pathetic lives of eating chili on spaghetti like a bunch of losers.
Yeah, but the Chiefs defense absolutely showed up and won this game, man. I was super impressed with how they played today. They took advantage of the weak offensive line. The corners coverage was excellent most of the time. Yeah, they let up some third down and longs. They've done that all year, but they did more than enough to make up for it. I mean, it's exciting seeing a team that's so young with so many rookies be able to play so well on the defensive side of the ball, man. Spags had the right stuff dialed up. And even with the offense, didn't help at all in the second quarter and the beginning of the second half. The defense held strong and kept them from getting in the end zone.
The defense carried the team today. This was a defensive win, hands down. Mahomes was on one leg. He was throwing the third and fourth string wide receivers, a bunch of rookies out there all day. They didn't execute. Jerick McKinnon probably played his worst game in a Chiefs uniform today. Easily. Our offensive line wasn't even blocking. They weren't opening up holes. It wasn't the greatest performance by the Chiefs offense. The defense definitely carried us today. 41 yards between Samaje Perine and Joe Mixon combined. And that's after they said they were going to run all over us, which Perine did last time. He had over like 120, 130 yards. It was insane.
Did they get over 80 yards?
No, I don't think so, unless Joe Burrow had like 40 some yards himself.
That was one of my hot takes. And you even thought I was crazy when I said it, but I said that they would be held to under 80 yards combined. So that's awesome. What other hot takes did we have? I don't remember.
I said they would be under 24, and I said Chris Jones would have 2 sacks. So we hit 3 for 3 on the hot takes. That's what we do here at All Chiefed Up. Nobody wants to listen, but one of these days you're gonna realize that the respect needs to be given.
You were very close to the score too. You said 24-23 Chiefs, and it was 23-20 Chiefs.
Right. So, I knew it was going to be a low one. Everybody taking the over on like the 46 or 47. No, not when you call it Burrowhead. Our defense, Chris Jones was locked in. He looked like a psychopathic killer all week long in the press conferences. So I knew that was coming. Yeah.
But the Bengals were completely shut down by our defense. They did not look good all day. They had flashes. But, I mean, other than that, man, it was just total domination, to be honest. I know it was a close game and the score was close. But if you watch that game and you take out, like, the blunder from Andy Reid's horrible play calling with a little over 2 minutes left in the first half, you take away – them calling a hold on Wiley when Pacheco scored that touchdown. You take away a lot of these other little things, man, and it was a completely lopsided game. The Chiefs just dominated.
Yeah, the first half, it almost felt like we should have been up like 30-0. And somehow the Bengals got out of there, with a 1-score deficit at the first half. And it was like, here we go again, man. These Bengals, they're the luckiest group I've ever seen. And then Mahomes comes out and starts playing like Patrick Mahomes' clone again in the second half and just flopping the ball around. It got to a point where I was like, are we just cursed? Like, are they sacrificing goats over at Paycor Stadium? I have no idea, but we finally got the win. I don't care if it was by 1 or 100. Bengals fans, everybody else, the mayor, suck it. Go back to being the suck town you are and go back to mediocrity because you're not going to be able to pay this team like you have been when Joe Burrow gets that big old money.
Absolutely. And one guy I want to give props to in this game is Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He absolutely demolished their secondary. And Mahomes was hitting him today. He actually missed him on a couple of wide open passes as well. It could have been an even bigger game for MVS, but he tore it up today, man. He's been catching a lot of flack from Chiefs Kingdom throughout the season. And I think he showed up today when it was most important. And he was probably one of the most key players in this entire win.
Yeah, I do say if Mahomes had been a little better on his ankle, that was bad play calling again. Why are you letting Mahomes throw the ball 43 times with a bum ankle? Like, that's just stupid. You knew at some point he was going to get hit or have to scramble and re-bother his ankle. You knew that was coming. So I don't know why Andy and them decided to do that. But when we all went down and we started losing Kadarius Toney, we started losing Juju, we done all this with like second and third string guys. And again, if all of them would have stayed healthy throughout the game, I do believe in the second half we would have ran the score up.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of injuries on the Chiefs. They are not healthy at all right now. Like I said, we pretty much beat the Bengals with our third string. And that's okay, man. There's 2 weeks before the Super Bowl comes up. And we're not even going to talk about it because we're going to take a whole week just to let everyone know that the Chiefs are the AFC champions and the Bengals suck. And that they are little brother and they are a poverty franchise and their window's closed. They're not going back.
It's closed. I don't even know if they'll make the playoffs next year. I'm just going to say it. Suck it, Cincinnati. How about that?
So enjoy this one, Chiefs Kingdom. Take this week to celebrate, rub it in on Bengals fans who couldn't keep their mouth shut and all that. Take a look at this video right here. It had our predictions and some hot takes. See how we did. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell. And we will be back tomorrow on more of your AFC champion, Kansas City Chiefs.
Go Chiefs. Cincinnati.
Bengals
go home. Go home.
Bye.
Go back. Go back to Cincy, bro.